My son, Sam, 26, and his longtime girlfriend, now fiancée, Emily, 26, finally decided to get married. They had announced their engagement privately to my husband and me, and after the initial excitement, they said they had something important to talk to me about. Sam wanted my engagement ring to give to Emily. Sam said this would be a great way to keep him from starting his marriage in debt, from having to buy a new expensive diamond ring. Emily also added that she has liked the look of my ring a lot and would love for me to pass it down to her. I love my engagement ring. I have worn it every day since my husband proposed to me with it, and to be honest, I still have plenty of years to live that I want to keep wearing it until I am old and gray. Also, my ring is not a family heirloom. My husband chose and bought this ring for me many years ago. So, I told them that I appreciated them wanting my ring, but no, I wanted to keep it. I listed out the reasons above and how I don't want to part with my ring yet for the rest of my still long life. However, when I am old, I would be more than happy to give it to their future children. Well, Sam and Emily weren't happy with my answer, and Sam actually called me selfish and materialistic. He said the diamonds are a scam and asked how I could let him go into debt to buy a new ring. Emily was disappointed and said that she had hoped that my ring could become a family heirloom and it would be a token of accepting her into our family. I have always liked Emily and we got along great. They also said that I could keep my wedding band, so it wasn't like they were leaving me without any rings to wear. Am I the booty hole? My whole life, I've been supported by my parents. I'm an only child, and my parents have a net worth of a few million, if that helps. I'm 30 now and they've bought me my first house, car, paid for my uniform, holidays for me and my partner, etc. I'm now working a comfy job with my dad as a partner in his law firm. My parents approached me and said they were going to not fund our wedding as we're both earning a lot and have no debts. I told them that it's a rite of passage for parents to fund their children's weddings. They are adamant they don't want to, and they want me to learn the value of things. How can I convince them otherwise? Me and my partner are saving for our second home and don't want to spend the money on a wedding. Recently I, 25 male, got engaged to my amazing fiancée, 24 female, Amy. I was the happiest I have ever been when Amy said yes and was nothing but excited for our wedding. We started planning the venues, the dates and the invites. When talking about who to invite, we both agreed to invite out coworkers as we have worked in our respective jobs for years and like them all. As I checked that off the list, Amy spoke up and said everyone from my job can come except my work friend Tally, 26 female. Tally is also one of my close friends, so this surprised me that Amy didn't want to invite her. She has met Tally multiple times and there didn't seem to be any issues. When I asked why, she said she just doesn't like her and finds our friendship uncomfortable, saying she thinks that Tally is the type of person to try to sway taken men and be the center of attention. After talking some more to see where she got this idea, it turned out this was based on nothing but Tally's looks, as even Amy admitted that Tally is always very kind to her. But still, Amy is adamant about Tally not going and said that she makes her insecure. Amy is a beautiful woman, so I don't know why she feels this way. I told Amy that if it makes her feel comfortable not having Tally at the wedding then that is fine, but before invitations go out I wanted to speak to her privately to let her know to save embarrassment. Amy agreed and that was really that. We didn't speak on the matter after. A week or so later I went into work and Tally started to ignore me, only really talking if it was work related. I was confused as it isn't just her, our coworkers have started to ignore her and acting strange to me. So I contacted her BF, only for him to be sarcastic on the phone. I asked what the problem was when he asked if I actually didn't know what happened. He then filled me in. Turned out a few days earlier Amy came to my work on my day off with invitations. I had no idea she even made them yet and handed everyone an invite in front of Tally, then saying to Tally, "You aren't invited, women like you aren't welcome," which has sparked everyone suggesting she is my other woman. Since then she has been harassed by some guys at work and shunned by the women. She is now looking for another job. This pissed me off and I apologized profusely as I didn't know. When I got home, that night I confronted Amy about this. She denied it at first, but then told me she did it, but it is now not an issue because she's quitting her job. I flipped on her saying how she clearly didn't trust me to say and that she crossed a line doing all this behind my back. She didn't see the problem and got upset asking me why I'm so mad, me responding, "If we are really going to get married, get your insecurities in check and grow up." I stayed at a friend since, but have had texts from Amy, her friends and her mother saying I was in butthole for this and that Amy doesn't deserve this treatment. Am I the booty hole? Edit, I should have explained better. 2 things. 1. I have made many attempts to speak to Tally privately to find out what was happening prior to contacting her BF. She brushed me off by saying she either had work to do or that there was nothing to talk about. No one would really speak to me, so I contacted her BF as a last resort. Her BF says he is going to pass on to Tally what I said to him on the phone. The wedding is currently on hold, that is also why I'm staying at my friend's. Need some distance to figure stuff out. I made the post because of all the texts. Basically a couple months ago my female 19 sister, 30, was telling my mom she had a really tight budget for her wedding and couldn't afford the big wedding she had dreamt for. So I offered to help her find cheaper alternatives to the decorations she wanted. She asked if I could make the bridesmaids custom baskets and robes with their names on it for less than half of what I charge because she couldn't find someone who could make it for a cheap enough price, so I agreed. Eventually she managed to save a lot and was able to get the dress she originally wanted. I figured everything else was fine until last week. My sister decided she did not want kids at her wedding because she wanted the adults to enjoy themselves and drink. I still thought nothing of the sudden change until she told me I was no longer invited to her wedding. When I asked her why, she said, because I was to be considered a kid since I can't drink. She said I was still invited to the wedding rehearsal, but that's it. I told her since I wasn't invited to the wedding to find someone else to do the custom robes plus gift baskets or pay me full price for it. This meant she would have to return her dress because everything else she had for the wedding was already the cheapest she could find. Both my mom and dad says I'm being petty and I should still do it because she's my sister. Her fiancé has also called me self-centered and childish, and my brother agreed with him. Am I the booty hole here? Edit. Some people suggested she uninvited me for a different reason, but we haven't had any arguments in a while, and the last big argument was last year, so I don't see what I could have done to make her uninvite me. But thank you guys for the comments. Also, I live in America, so I legally can't drink for another 2 years, but I didn't have a problem with not drinking anyways. Also adding I was invited, I didn't assume I could go. She was there when I bought my dress. Last thing I wanna add, my sister told me there's nothing else to it, she just doesn't want me to be there since I wouldn't be drinking, but she invited my cousin, who's 20, so she just hates me. I guess I really don't know. But thank y'all for the comments, the awards, and for the eye-opener. This happened last weekend, all panorama rules were followed, we are in the UK if that matters. The wedding was my cousin's, 30 male, and his now wife, 27 female. I've 31 female, always been close to my cousin because we grew up on the same street and we would hang out at each other's houses a lot growing up. We still talk regularly now. Due to certain global issues, not a lot of my family have seen my daughter, 4 female, in the last couple years. Unfortunately, she's not keen on dressing up due to it being an important occasion. I wanted her to dress nicely. The only way she would agree to dress up was if she matched me and her daddy, 31 male. We sat together and shopped online for our outfits. She wore a little version of my jumpsuit. The jumpsuits were seafoam green with a little white heart pattern over it. I thought we looked cute together. We even got my husband a matching tie. When we turned up at the wedding, my mom and some other family wanted pictures of us, my husband, myself and my daughter, together. This was before the church ceremony while we were waiting outside before being seated. We were not the only ones taking photos, lots of others were taking selfies and group photos as well. We weren't late getting into the church either. It was a truly lovely wedding ceremony and the reception was decorated beautifully. At the reception, people commented on our outfits. I didn't think anything of it as it's normal to compliment other people's outfits. I know it's generally my go-to compliment, especially if I don't know the person well. My cousin called me during the week and said that his wife was upset with my behavior at the wedding. She thinks I wore a matching outfit with my daughter to draw attention away from her. It's so bizarre to me because she was absolutely gorgeous in her dress. She honestly looked like she had stepped out of a magazine. Did I commit a massive social mistake? Am I the booty hole? How do I apologize or talk to her about this? I recently had surgery on my foot. I'll be in my foot brace, a long leg boot, goes up to my knee, for a few months. I'm allowed to take it off in 4 to 6 weeks if I'm not up and walking and can do weight bearing depending on my healing. My brother-in-law is getting married and his fiancé has asked me not to wear my brace to their wedding. It's in October. I will be nearing my 8 weeks at that time. My doctor told me in the boot 8 weeks minimum. They know I can remove the brace for short periods of time after 4 weeks and do some weight-bearing activity. Their response was, well, you can take it off after 4 weeks, so by 8 weeks you can have it off for the wedding. It's not that long. It'll ruin pictures and distract from the bride. I feel like a complete asshole by not even considering it. I could be healed, or I can always wear a long dress to cover it, but also feel I shouldn't have to do that. Having mixed feelings for sure. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Reddit Telly for more videos like this. Till next time.